Welcome back to Happy Place Cooking. Today I want to talk a little bit about my food sealer situation. I purchased this little handheld food saver vacuum that works with these zip bags. And at first I thought, ooh, those are great. That works great. This works great. These, not so much. I started having issues with air seeping back into the bags, which was making me quite unhappy. And I thought it was just maybe how much I was putting in them, because that's said to possibly cause an issue, or what I was putting in them maybe was poking the bag or something like that. But as it turns out, it doesn't really matter what I put in them. About, I would say, anywhere from a half to 3/4 of the bags in each package does not work. I went on Foodsaver's website and I looked at some of the reviews, and I am not the only person that's had issues with these. Not very happy with these at all. I've been fighting them. I've thrown several away. There's also the issue with this little plastic piece, which is where the food saver pulls the air out, comes off. That being said, they only seem to come off if they've been in cold temperatures, such as the freezer. And I was not aware, because obviously I'm one of those people that don't read. So yes, I will take blame for this. This was my fault. I did not realize these are not freezer safe bags. They're not intended for the freezer. So if you watched one of my other videos where I did the potato prepping, I talked a little bit about those little plastic pieces falling off and how I was remedying that situation, and that was to put a little bit of packing tape over them, and that did seem to help. It kept those from falling off, but it still wasn't keeping air from seeping back into the bags, because the air is obviously coming in somewhere else, and I don't know where on those bags. I did have a couple that was my fault for putting pointy pasta in them, and they poked holes. But there's some that I've put just beans in, and it doesn't seem to matter what is in them. A couple of them just had flour put in like paper bags and put in the bags and sucked the air out, and they eventually started getting air back in the bags on those too. So these are hit and miss. Some, the air will start seeping back in within hours, and some takes a few days. So if I just want to use this for something in the refrigerator for a couple of days, these are probably going to be fine. So it will still get some use. It won't be something that's I've completely wasted my money on. I went and bought a big sealer. Nope, I did not want one. I did not want to take up my counter space. I didn't want to do this. But I need something that's going to seal my foods well, and I researched, and there is not one single brand out there that has perfect reviews. Should I expect something to have perfect reviews? Not necessarily, because you can't please everyone. I understand that. However, a lot of these sealers had a lot of the same issues. What I ended up doing was I found this one. This is Old Mill. If any of you are familiar with Menards, that is a store chain that I believe is mostly in the Midwest. This is their brand. They have Old Mill a lot of things. They have Old Mill foods, they have Old Mill jeans, they have Old Mill vacuum sealers. This one was $49.99. I bought it during the 11% off everything, so I'm going to get like $5 back on this. The bags come in a 3-roll pack. These are the kind that you have to cut. They do also have the pre-cut bags like these, and the machine does come with a few of those for you to start with. I purchased a box of gallon-size pre-cut bags. I haven't used those yet, but I wanted them just in case I needed them and I didn't have to run out and get them. These rolls are 22 foot long, I believe. Let me grab that box. Yes, these are 8-inch wide, 22-foot rolls. There are 3 of them in the box, and they were right around $20. These I do have to cut, but luckily the machine does come with the cutter so that you get a nice even cut on the edges, which is nice. Works pretty good. You just pull this forward. I'm going to lay my roll back there. And pull through however long you want this bag to be. Let your roll actually touch the back of the machine. This keeps the bag even so it's not turning. Just push that down, hold it down, and slide this across, and you get a nice even cut. I need to seal this end. There are release buttons on the side of this machine that release it. So just to seal, I am just going to put it right there at the edge. Snap that down. There. It's a little tough to snap down. It snaps down pretty hard. I'm going to hit seal only. And there you can see I have a nice seal across the end of my bag. Now I'm going to take these frozen salmon patties that I had in the Foodsaver zip bag, because I wanted to have something to show you how this seals. So these are all nice and frozen together. A little tip, if you're putting anything in the seal bags that is really moist, you're like say a thawed out chicken breast, you can either wrap that in plastic wrap, or you could freeze it for a little bit, like, you know, make it partially frozen. That way it doesn't suck all the juices up in through there. The problem is that if it sucks all the juices past where it needs to seal, it may keep you from having a good seal. Also, you can see maybe that I have a little bit of debris in here. I need to get that out of the way. If that debris is in the way, it could cause it to not seal properly. I'm going to go clean that off real quick. When you are sure that you don't have anything in the way and you're ready to seal this puppy up, you can just put this where it's leaning over the little drippy tray area. Press that down till it locks in place. I have a choice of either dry or moist. I feel like dry, the instructions doesn't really explain what the difference is, I don't think, between dry and moist. To me, dry is going to be, say, you know, cookies or, you know, pasta or, you know, things like that, actual dry foods. Now this is frozen, but it is technically a moist food, so I'm going to use the moist setting. There is also a pulse setting, which I am hoping to use here in just a little bit, and I'll show you that. There's also a canister setting. That is for those plastic containers that have the lids on top that have the little spout, which you would use this little hose for, and it will suck the air out of the containers. I don't have any of those, so I can't show you that. But it does, this machine does come with this hose attachment. I'm going to use moist, and we're going to seal up these salmon patties. And there you go. We have a nice seal all the way across. I can write right here the date and what these are. Works great. I made these little cranberry orange loaves. Don't get too excited. There won't be a recipe video of those. It was just a box mix. I don't want to say or eat all these right now, so I'm going to attempt to seal these up and freeze them. Well, I don't want to use one of those settings because it may smash my bread. So I'm going to attempt to figure out how to use the pulse button. I need to make sure that this is flat. That's another reason not to overfill your bag, because if you have too much in it, it's going to not allow the bag to set properly across your sealer, and you don't want that. I think this is going to be okay. We're going to attempt this pulse button. See how we're doing here. Don't want to smash them, but I want the air out. I think as soon as they start to kind of cave down, which sort of looks like what it's doing, I'm going to say that's probably really good right there. And then I'm going to just do a seal only. It is pretty loud, by the way. Look at that. That's great. So these should be pretty good to go into the freezer, I think. That is my tutorial review. If anything happens and something happens and it starts not working correctly, or I run into some kind of issues with the bags or anything like that, I will give you an update on that. For right now, I've used it a handful of times and it's worked perfectly. I have no complaints at this moment. Thanks for watching and happy eating!